Hello, everybody, and welcome to Real Expert. Kaplan Real Estate Education brings to you another production. And today we have a very special guest. Not only is Steve an expert in the field, but he is also an author for Dearborn Real Estate Education and Kaplan Real Estate Education. He's been an author for us for several years. But let me go ahead and introduce our topic today, and it's really accelerate your career by creating an income plan. I mean, everybody has to have an income plan. How much money am I going to make? How am I going to get there? And here's the thing. Steve Strickholm is the guy. Steve, I'm just going to give you a little bit of an introduction about who Steve is. Just so you know, I've known Steve for almost 6 years now, 7 years. Something like that. It's been a long time. So Steve Strickholm is the founder and president of KDNA, Knowledge DNA, Full Throttle Coaching, and KDNA Income and Goal Tracking Software. Over the past 10 years, Steve and his team have worked with tens of thousands of agents, really over 50,000 agents, to help them achieve their income goals in real estate. Their software is a top solution in real estate, and combined with Kaplan Full Throttle Coaching workbooks and videos, they provide a uniquely powerful solution to agents in the industry. And so, Steve, thank you for being here today, and thank you for sharing your knowledge with us.
Great. And I think everybody can see the slide here. Feel free to email me at steve@knowledgedna.com with any questions afterwards, or go to our website, kdnacoach.com. But looking forward to being here today, and let's get rolling.
Right on. All right, everybody. So once again, take down that email address or website address. Steve is going to offer you something at the end of this if you hang around long enough. Very nice offer. So we've got a topic, Steve, that could take us. We could spend days and days and days. And I think everybody understands the format here is we're done in 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First off, though, I want to ask all of our participants to play along. I'm going to ask you a question because we want to know who's on here today. We have a lot of people who are still taking their licensing education. We have some grizzled, wizened veterans that have been in the business longer than we have, Steve. And I want to know who's here today. So I'm going to go ahead and throw up a poll question. Everybody, take a second and answer this, just to help us kind of gauge how to answer some questions and where we can move the conversation to. So here we go. Poll question number 1. How long have you been in real estate? Go ahead and take a second to click on this with your mouse. Whoa, they're filing in. Everybody's rapid fire. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. How long have you been in real estate? Heck, I'm not even licensed yet. Good for you. If you're sitting in licensing courses and you're coming to this, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Less than 5 years? Hey, I'm pretty fresh. I'm new in the industry and I'm rocking it. 5 to 10 years? Yeah, I'm kind of figuring it out. In fact, I'm at the point in my career where I'm really looking at productivity and how do I become more productive in the business. And then finally, so long that I could probably teach this stuff. And you grizzled, wizened veterans, appreciate you coming here. It's actually a key point of understanding that education can be learned everywhere. And as long as you make it a priority, you continue to forward and advance your career, no matter how many years you've been in the business. So here we go. I'm going to end the poll. Thank you, everybody, for participating. And I'm going to share the results. So, Steve, look at this. They got 80% of the people are not even licensed yet. That's tremendous. I got 5 years. I got almost 13%, 2%, 5 to 10 years. Look at that. It's like, I feel like when you're 5 to 10 years, you're like a teenager. You know, I remember when maybe in your early 20s, you know everything, right? Love that. For you people who are here, awesome. And then those grizzled veterans, we got about 5% of the people have been in the business long enough to be teaching us. Love for you veterans and you 5 to 10 year people to throw your comments in, ask good questions in the chat, and we're going to try to answer some questions. Understand, we probably can't go super, super, super deep, but I promise you everybody will get some golden nuggets out of this presentation today. All right, Steve, we're going to jump right in. Number 1, what actually creates income in real estate? Because, and here's the question: we're going to talk about an income plan, but how do you have an income plan if you don't really understand what creates income in real estate? What is it? What activity is it?
Well, let's do a poll and find out what people think, and then let's actually talk about the data we got from working with 50,000 agents, Toby. Okay. We're running a poll.
All right. So everybody, you get to play along again because it's kind of we're teachers. We're going to try to understand where you're at. What do you think actually creates income in real estate? Quick income, mid-range income, and long-term income, right? So here we go. Another poll question, everybody. I know it's 2 quick poll questions, but and by the way, these poll questions are anonymous, right? So nobody's going to see what you answered, all right? So, all right. Polls in progress. Everybody take a jump. Read at this. There's some long answers here, but take your time. We're going to take just a couple minutes on this. What activity is the most accurate indicator of success in real estate? In other words, what creates, right? What creates income? So what's the most accurate indicator? I mean, what am I doing that's going to be creating income regularly? Is it how many hours I spend creating marketing pieces each week? Is it how many emails I can send out? Man, emails, I can push those out almost for free. How many times I post on social media? Lots of people have some pretty powerful social media engines. Is that creating income? How many two-way conversations I talk about real estate I have each week, like where I actually talk to somebody about real estate? How many leads I pay for each week? Some people generate ginormous lead generation engines out that they pay for those leads. All right, look at this. We got just about everybody participated here. Take your best crack at it. See what it is. No wrong answers today, but there is one clear answer. And the good news, Steve, the absolute good news is most people know what that answer is. Look at this. 14%, how many hours I spend creating marketing pieces? They are important. No doubt about it. They're important, but I'm not sure they're the most important. Now, how many emails I send out each week? That's important, not the most important. But let's just drop right down to it. How many two-way conversations about real estate I have each week is by far almost 75% people have said that. And you know what? You're right. You're right. And why is that, Steve? What is it about two-way conversations?
Well, one of the things I want to mention is that is actually a really great answer. And I'm really pleased to see that, particularly with many of you not even having your license yet, that you know that that's the key activity to be successful in real estate, because so many agents don't know that. Now, in the last 10 years, our software has been used by 50,000 agents and top producers and new agents all around the country. That's what we found, is that the key producer of income is the number of two-way conversations, because you're creating trust in building relationships with people that are making the biggest financial decision of their life. And also, working with real estate, it's not like somebody's buying a car and there are only 30 models to choose from, or 10 models. Every house is different. So it's a very complex situation. Interest rates are always changing. How many square footage we have to do, have somebody come in and do an appraiser. We have to have somebody come in and look at what repairs might need to be done. All this has to be done so you remove the risk, because people have a high level of risk when they buy the house, and they are trusting you as an agent, as an up and coming agent, to reduce that risk and making sure that they're getting the property they're going to raise their family in and go to work from, or stay inside and do work. Send their kids to school. So it's a huge, huge decision they're making in their life. And that's why two-way conversations, that's what they're buying from you, is trust. And then they're buying your expertise.
So the two-way conversation builds the trust fastest. Is that? That's
right.
Really what you're saying.
That's right.
And I think you said something. I want to make sure we don't gloss over, so guys, when I met Steve, he brought this information to me, right? This data from thousands and thousands of agents using this activity, goal tracking activity
software that we
have, right?
Yeah.
That Knowledge DNA produces, KDNA, and it tracks all the activities. Everything from just what we said here. Two-way conversations, how many emails, how many marketing posts, all these different activities. Really, kind of 8 to 12 key activities that you have to do every day, every week, every month. And by far the best indicator, right, Steve, after tens of thousands of users, was two-way conversations. Those people that were having a two-way conversation with somebody, they were outperforming everybody else.
Right, right. Because what you have to focus on is your income producing activities, not your outcome goals. Everybody wants to have appointments. Everybody wants to open and close sales, but you get there by having two-way conversations. And the way you have two-way conversations is you do time blocking, and then you actually set the number of hours of lead generating that you're going to do, and contacting your sphere of influence and asking for referrals and all the things that really build a business. And this is really great information for you, all of you 80% who don't have your license yet, as you're really thinking about how am I going to go out and build my business. So I think, Toby, we have another poll about how many two-way conversations it might take, and on average, to put a sale together. Do you have that poll?
Yeah. All right, everybody. So just to wrap up, because I understand. A two-way conversation can, like this, like on a Zoom or a Google Hangout or whatever it is. Today's day and age, I see more and more of these happening. Right, I got people on phone, people, actually sitting down with somebody in their house or at a coffee shop, or just calling on the phone still. Although very few people call on the phone anymore to just talk. Understanding that you're actually interacting with people about real estate. And the fact that when they talk to you, they associate you with real estate, and then you got to be smart about it. But the key here then is, okay, and Steve, we're going to get to the poll. How many two-way conversations should you have in a day, or really in a week, or a month, or a year, right? Because I think if we're going to be talking about an income plan, and believe me, everybody, we're going to get to an income plan. I think what you're going to find is, like Steve says, it's not the outcome, it's the process, it's the activities that you do, right, Steve? And if you do the activities, everything else happens. Everything else happens. I know we talk about this, and some people will say, and I know you're going to cover this in a little bit. What do I say when I'm on the phone with people? And we're going to talk about maybe just a little bit about scripts and how you get running. But here's the thing, everybody: the supercomputer on your shoulder figures it out pretty fast how to talk to people when you just start talking, when you just start doing it. And so, how many conversations do you have to have? And now, Steve, let's preface this. Steve's going to share some information from you, some data from this vast pool of users to his system. And here comes the question, and it is, how many? Let me see. I better pull it up here before I talk too fast. Hang on. So, question number 3. Ready, everybody? How many two-way conversations does it take for a newer agent to close a transaction? Right? How many two-way conversations? So what Steve's program has done is it has tracked everybody on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and it says, all right, for all these conversations, how many do you have to have and actually to demonstrate a closed transaction? That's where you actually get paid the money. Show me the money. How many conversations do you have to have? And this is going to get into how you actually schedule your day. Like, okay, how many calls do I got to make? How many conversations do I got to have? All right, everybody, take just 10 seconds more. I know a lot of people are stewing on it. You grizzled, wise, and veterans, we're gonna share some info with you on this too. But think back to when you first started out. How many conversations did I really have to have? Because here's the other thing. When we're doing licensing education, I can tell you, people don't always understand the business they're getting into when you come out of licensing education. And for you, those of you who've been in the business, you know this. You are getting into the lead generation business. That's what all this is. And if you think it's anything different, you're in the wrong business. This is about you making connections and relationships and working those leads and working your sphere of influence. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty close, but not quite. All right, here we go. I'm going to end the poll. I'm going to share results. Steve, why don't you comment? What do you think about these results?
Right. Well, this is really interesting. So I really appreciate everybody filling out this poll. So it turns out that the national average, and I'm going to tell you how you can beat the national average here real quick. The national average is 160 conversations for a newer agent to close a sale. That's 13. Wait, keep it up. Can you keep up the poll? Put it back up.
Oh, I can't keep it up anymore. Sorry.
Go on.
I moved it. I wanted to see you when you were talking. I'm sorry, but it was go on.
All right. Let me go. Okay, so it's 160 on average national two-way conversations.
160 for a new agent. If you do 160 conversations, that's the average to get.
And that's a two-way contact. So that could be a text message back and forth. It could be a social media post back and forth. But a lot of it is going to be a two-way conversation, probably live, more like on the phone. Now, I see that most of you said 120 to 80. Now, the good news is if you focus your business and you know how to approach people and who to approach and what you have to sell, which is like one of the main stumbling blocks for newer agents. What do I have to sell? And then who do I approach? And then how do I go about approaching them? Which has to do with scripts. If you can do all that, you can take that number down to 120 or even 80, which is what most of you are hoping the number is. And also the number goes down as people get more successful in the business and they're working on referrals. The number goes down to 120, even 80, and even 60 for people that have been in the business for a while. Yeah, now, I want to give you guys two. Okay, hold on. I want to give you guys two real great tips here. The first is that you need to know who your sphere of influence is, and then you need to know who your niche is, and they actually go together, and this will dramatically reduce the number of conversations you need to close a sale. I'll give you an example. Sphere of influence. 50% of all sales in real estate are made from referrals from your sphere of influence, people that know you and already trust you. You get a referral. Call Fred. I think he's getting ready to sell his house. You call Fred. Hey, Sally asked me to call you. Sally, oh yeah, Sally and I are great friends. We've known each other for 10 years. Great, come on over. Let's talk about how I might price my house and let's get a listing offer put together, listing agreement put together. Those are the kinds of referrals that are going to give you half of your sales for your house or for on the buyer's side. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say that you're going to be a dual career agent to start. Maybe you're going to have a full-time job and you're going to start also in real estate. Let's say you're an elementary school teacher and you got a lot of young kids with a lot of young parents. Now, what's your niche? Your niche is probably not going to be vacation homes or second homes. It's going to be first-time home buyers or people that are buying up to a larger home because their family is growing. So your sphere of influence that you all have is going to interact with a niche that you should choose. Don't choose a niche because you think, oh, it'd be great to sell investment property. I'd love to do apartments, but I have no idea what a cap rate is or who I would contact to start selling apartments. So use your sphere of influence as a really key way to start building your business and establishing your niche, and that number can go down. Okay, Toby.
Yeah, so here's the key. Here's the key, everybody, and this is where the people who've been in the business for up to 5 years, you start to realize you can have a lot of conversations, but what happens after you have enough conversations, you start to understand how to talk about it differently. You understand where people are at in their journey to needing real estate help, right? And you start to get quicker with a call, or you'll take a little more time with somebody. And what happens is the supercomputer on your shoulders starts to figure that out, right? And it starts to get better at it and better at it. And what that means is you become more efficient. So our veterans who've been in the business 10 years plus, right? They might only need 40 or 60 calls to close a transaction because they're just better at it. And they've identified their sphere. They know those people, they know their niche. So they can talk really smart about where they're at. So it's all about inefficiency. And this plays into an income plan, right? And so because, Steve, let me just ask the question. What then is an income plan?
Great. So an income plan is you want to have your lead generating activities set up. You need to have weekly activities that you're going to engage in and weekly goals that you want to meet. And the income producing activities, which is an income plan, starts with number of days that you do time blocking, that you put in your calendar when you're going to do lead generating. The first workbook that Toby and I worked on is called Ready, Set, Go. The 4 things you need to start or restart your real estate career. And the first chapter in that book, as Toby has already said, is the primary job of a real estate agent is lead generating. You know, we can get into real estate. Oh, it'd be so much fun to show a house. I can't wait to figure out what the inventory is and putting deals together. But no, the first and primary job that we all have is lead generating, reaching out and build relationships with people that we already don't have relationships with, or strengthening those relationships. So you start out with time blocking, how many days and how many hours you're going to do lead generating, then how many conversations you're going to initiate via phone conversation or text messaging or social media posts. And then from there, you might do number of open houses and number of emails that I'm going to send, but it all comes down to how many appointments that I'm going to set, hold, and whether the buyers and sellers and opening and closing sales. That is the sales pipeline, and that is an income plan. You have to have those activities.
Hold on, Steve, right there. Because you said something different than the way other people say it, right? You have to have a sales pipeline, and that is your income plan.
And you have to hold it.
Because a lot of people will go, ooh, I'm going to have an income plan. Here's how much money I want to make. And I want to make $100,000. And how am I going to do that? Well, I think I understand commissions. I understand the average sale price of a house in my area. And I understand the average commissions I might make on that. And I got to split that commission with my broker. And so I need to sell 12 homes to make $100,000, right? And so, awesome. That's my income plan. I'm going to make $100,000. And that's not what you're saying. What you're saying is, no. You need to build the pipeline. That pipeline is your income plan because you're meaning it literally. Without the pipeline, you're not having any income. Is that right?
Right. So you have to have the pipeline that creates the sales in the first place. I want to give you a great quote. Michaela Schifrin is probably one of the best skiers in history. She's already won as many World Cup victories at 25, 26 as Lindsey Vonn did at 30. Okay, so she's going to actually end up winning more World Cup victories and more than anybody in history. So, and she has a great quote because I was listening to one of her interviews. She said, because she's beat out, she's on the podium 2/3 of all racing. It's the 40 best skiers in the world. She's on the podium 2/3 of the time, and she wins 1/3 of the time. Nobody's ever done this before. And somebody asked her, what's the secret? She said, because wanting it is not the same as doing the work. Okay, wanting to make $100,000 a year is not the same as doing the work that's actually going to create the $100,000 that year. And that is what your sales pipeline will do. Now, I want to tell you something about when you write down goals, you track them during the week, and you hold yourself accountable. We did a study ourselves of real estate agents, but a university did a study of business professionals, and they found that people that did this were 80% more productive and made 80% more income. And we looked at agents that were not tracking their numbers. They were making $60,000 a year, and those that were tracking the numbers were making almost $150,000 a year. That's what Michaela is talking about. Wanting it is not the same as doing the work. And we are here to help you do the work and then get the results that you want in your career.
So let me kind of come back and just kind of summarize this real quick, because there's a big pack in here of information, and this is good for everybody, because I'm going to give a couple nuggets to people who've been in the business for a while too. You should have targets. You should have goals. This is how much money I want to make. But this is what Steve's really one of the foremost experts on, because of his nature of his business and this goal and activity tracker that tracks people's activities and allows them to put in their goals. Is that in order to hit that income, you have to not just want it, you have to do the work, which is you have to do the activities. But a lot of people don't really understand it. So we started sharing some of that knowledge with you. Listen, you want a closed transaction? It's 162-way conversations. Well, if I have to sell 12 homes in a year, how many conversations is that? 12 times 160? How am I going to plan that in each day? Do I know exactly how many phone calls I need to make each day, each week, each month? 2-week conversation? How many text messages I need to see? How many emails? And then I lay in on top of that marketing, social posting, all that kind of stuff. How am I going to track my activities? Because in the end, you want to make money, and then B, you want to become productive. When you're in those years from that, 1 or 2 years in the business to 5 to 7 years, you want to become super efficient and super productive. So are you doing the right activities? Are you understanding where you're actually making your money from? And are you getting better at those activities so it doesn't take you 160 conversations? It only takes you 100 conversations. And then, and how are you tracking that? And how are you doing that? And so, because in the end, what it comes down to is, and I think this is very important for everybody, is what is your time worth? How much time are you really spending on it? Because Steve, the honest truth is, we have a lot of people that come through real estate education. They don't plan on working full time. They want to work 20 hours a week. They want to work 30 hours.
Right, that's called dual career. And I just want to, before we go, I just want to mention that what an income plan is a weekly set of goals. Okay, because we're all about doing the work, not just having the goal, but doing the work to create so you get to the goal that you want. And so you don't want to be overwhelmed with I need 120 conversations to make a sale. We break it down. If you want to make 12 sales that year, okay, that's 120 conversations a month. Okay, so that's 30 conversations, a week. And then how many hours of lead generating do you need to do to have those two-way conversations? Well, that might be 8 hours of lead generating to have those 30 conversations. You start out with, so I see one of the questions is what exactly is, a sales pipeline? It's, I'm going to do lead generating for 3 days this week. Each day I'm going to do 3 hours. I'm going to do 9 hours of lead generating. That's going to give me 30 conversations. That's going to give me 4 people that are going to want to set an appointment, 2 are going to show up, and one is going to sign a contract. So, and then from that, I'll open and close 1 or 2 sales this month. That's what a sales pipeline is. That's what an income plan is. So I want to be really clear with everybody about that. And the other question I saw is, what is a two-way conversation? That is most likely something that you're on the phone or a Zoom call and you're going back and forth live, but it can also be text messaging, maybe social media posts back and forth, but it's really anything that's going to deepen the trust and the relationship that you have with somebody, because people don't care how much you know until they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. I know we're coming up near the end here, Toby.
Yeah, we got a couple more bits for people here too, because there's a couple things. So, how can I track? I mean, if I'm going to track my activities, and I really want to know how good I'm getting, and I want to know how much time I'm spending, and how much money I'm making per hour, because isn't that really what it comes down to? Is how much income can you make per hour of activity? And are you working on the most productive activity for you? Because what you will find, everybody, is that you may excel at a certain part of lead generation, right? Some of you may be killers on the phone. Some of you may be killers in a live conference. You will drive across country just to meet with people because you're really good in person to have a two-way conversation. Some of you are brilliant on text. You're very quick to respond to people, and a lot of millennials love that, to be get right back in your top of mind of everybody. You will find your way to do it, but how do I track it? I mean, I know, Steve, you've created a very developed, tracking web program, daily reminders, all that kind of stuff. But do they have to go that sophisticated, or how? I mean, what else can people do?
Okay, so I'm going to answer one of the questions from Amy here. How do we start lead generating before we're licensed, which is 80% of you? Okay, 2 things you can do. One is start putting together a list of who's your sphere of influence, who's the people you know. And then you can contact them if you feel like you want to do lead, and let them know you're going to be starting your career in real estate. Hey, so you can that's you're not able to go out as a real estate agent and start asking people to put a contract together or sign a listing or agreement or a buyer agreement. You can't do that until you get your license, but you can certainly start putting a list together. That's the most important thing you can do. And then think about how you want to approach people, which is scripts, by the way, which is something that we do in our coaching program, is help you develop scripts so you're really comfortable in talking to people. And I just also want to say that the reason why people don't do lead generating and have enough conversations is that they have what is called call reluctance. And everybody has call reluctance because they're afraid that I'm going to talk to this person, they're going to think I'm an idiot, and they're going to post on social media all the horrible things I said, and probably going to record it, and I'm going to be totally embarrassed, and nobody's ever going to want to talk to me again, and I'm going to have to take an assumed name and go live in a different country. Okay, that's what we're all afraid of, and it doesn't happen. People are actually they're happy to hear from you if you come from a standpoint of, hey, I'm here to help. I'd love to be your volunteer real estate expert. Do you have any questions about real estate that I can answer for you? Wow, you'll find that people be really happy to talk to you, particularly that people know you a little bit or you already have relationships with. I do want to say one thing. Toby was talking about, what is your time worth? What's really interesting, and we've looked at as the primary determinator of your income, is the number of two-way conversations. What do you think the average two-way conversation is worth? I'll tell you, it's worth between $30 and $50. So every time you have a two-way conversation with somebody, you can hang up the phone, put down your text message, and say, I just made $50, because that's the truth about real estate. Every two-way conversation is worth $40 to $50. That's where you make your money. Surprise!
That's it, right? And the better you are, and the more the better you are, and the more specific in your niche and better level of expertise, that average price goes up. The fewer calls you need to make, right? So $30, $40, $50, $70, $80. Some of our grizzled, wizened, I like to think I'm grizzled and wizened veteran is, you're talking $100 a call, $150 a call, depending on where you're at. That's not bad on a two-way conversation. So So
Okay.
this is it.
Ken wanted to know who's the author of Ready, Set, Go. That's me.
Yeah.
Actually, Toby and I worked together. I did 7 workbooks. Toby and I worked together, and I authored 7 workbooks. So
right on. As a matter of fact, let me just wrap it up, Steve, because we are at our time. But everybody, I got an offer. Steve is offering for you. But I just want to just wrap up the topic to understand that an income goal, right? An income plan is really, you have to have that activity plan. You have to have a pipeline. You have to have a lead generation plan that you work every day, every week, every month, right? Because that is actually your income plan. And have targets, have goals, track your activities, find tools to help you track your activities. As a matter of fact, even getting, some people ask, hey, where do I learn, or how do I go coaching? There's a lot of different coaching programs out there in the marketplace. In fact, Steve has a coaching program, and we're going to go ahead and close, Steve. I wanted to thank you for being here. We're going to close and offer it to everybody here. Once again, you should understand, the offer is a 30-day free coaching program from KD&A if you're interested. It's the bronze program, and I believe it is around Ready, Set, Go. Is that right? I think I saw.
Correct. Yeah, you get a free copy of the 100-page workbook, Ready, Set, Go, and we do 4 webinars each week. We go through every chapter, answering questions like, what is a two-way conversation? Tiffany, can I have more than one niche? Absolutely. You should have 3, and we help you set that up and get that focused on. Yeah. All
right. So everybody, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put up the last polling question, and I want to thank you all for being here and playing along with us. And the polling question is, you're going to have a chance to answer. If you answer yes to the polling question, Steve will send you the information that you required or that you desire. So let me go ahead and pull this polling question up real quick. And if you're not interested in it, you can just say not interested and move on. So just know that we will share your email address with Steve to send the information to you when we do this. Okay.
Yeah, we're very nice people. Yeah.
Yeah. We work a lot with Steve.
Oh, so, and we have a 30-day program, but we also have silver, bronze, and platinum.
Yeah. You guys can spend a ton of dough. A great place to start maybe would be in a 30-day program, and you can do this before you even are licensed. This is a great place to help set stuff up. So if you're interested in it, go ahead and answer. We will share your information. If you answer yes, I'm very interested, or hey, I'd like to learn more, we will share your email with Steve. Okay, with KD&A. I'm not interested. Great. We won't share anything. And if you don't answer at all, we won't share anything. Okay. Very good.
No worries. Good. And I did a short video on call reluctance, which is really great. It's about anyway. So, and I'll send you all that video as well. So we have some.
I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. 3, 2, 1. Very good. All right. If for any reason you did not be able to answer that poll in time, I'm going to put up the closing screen here, and it's going to have Steve's contact information. You can contact him directly. Steve, thank you. Thank you for being such a wonderful author. And thank you for being such a wonderful guest on Real Expert.
Oh, thanks for all your help, Toby. And Michelle in the background, Michelle Auger has been moderating. Thanks, Michelle, for all your help. And all of you, thanks for joining us, and have a great career ahead. Congratulations on choosing a wonderful entrepreneurial career that you are really responsible for your results. And that's
very good.
Great thing.
Thank you, everybody.
All right. Take care. Thanks, Toby. Bye.